Greetings, and thank you for tuning in to today's episode. Today, we will discuss one of the number one things I hear people talk about. It's real life problems that people experience while taking semaglutide, Wegovy or Ozempic, and tirzepatide, Zepbound or Mounjaro, as well as specific diets people engage in while taking the injections, and reasons people actually discontinue taking the injections. So, let's get started. Many people often ask me, why am I not losing weight? Or they say things like, I thought I would have lost more weight by now. The time frame they refer to varies from a week to several months. Regardless of the case, here are reasons why one person may see more weight loss than another within the same period. Individual metabolism. Each person's metabolic rate is different. Factors such as age, sex, muscle mass, and genetic predisposition can significantly affect how quickly one loses weight. Then there's dietary habits. Even with medication, diet plays a crucial role. Some individuals might adhere strictly to a calorie deficit and balanced diet, while others may not, affecting their weight loss results. So, I know some may be thinking, well, I have a friend and she eats whatever she wants and she's losing way more weight than me and I actually eat healthy. Well, this can happen, but let me tell you something. Just know that this friend who's losing way more weight than you, who's probably losing it super quick and eating unhealthy, once she decides to come off the shots, just know that she will put her weight back on way more quicker than you. She will be upset. She will have wasted all of her money and time because guess what? Because she did not eat healthy, she did not develop any healthy eating habits, and she will have to either start all over or just live with all that extra weight that she has now put back on. So, the moral of the story is yes, there will be some people who can eat whatever they want and they will lose all the weight super quick. Meanwhile, while you're over here, you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're eating right, you're working out, the weight is coming off, you're losing a pound here and 2 pounds there. And even though you're wondering, why am I not losing my weight quicker? Guess what? It's going to make it so much easier for you to maintain your weight loss. While this person, like I said, they're either starting all over on the lowest dose of the shot, or they're just going to be like, forget it. I wasted all that time or all that money, and they're going to say the shot didn't work because guess what? They're going to have put on, if not all of that weight, sometimes even more weight than when they first started the shots. Don't be jealous or envious of those people. Just run your own race and make sure you do what you're supposed to do. Now, moving on. Physical activity. Exercise levels can vary greatly. Regular physical activity enhances weight loss and muscle building, whereas a sedentary lifestyle can hinder progress. So make sure you are trying to get in, as much exercise as you can. And then there's medication adherence. Proper adherence to medication schedules and dosages is vital. Missing doses or not taking the medication as prescribed can impact its effectiveness. The people who take the medication every other week or just kind of whenever before making goal weight are the ones who will have the hardest time achieving success on these injections and will not see a lot of progress. I see it at my clinic all the time. It just does not work that way. I can tell patients all the time that it won't work, but many have to try it out for themselves to see that they won't receive the same success that others receive. And then there's initial weight. Starting weight can influence the rate of weight loss. Those with a higher initial weight might see more significant initial losses compared to those closer to their target weight. And then medical conditions. Underlying medical conditions like hypothyroidism, polycystic ovary syndrome, or insulin resistance can slow down weight loss even with medication. Or, on the other hand, the medication may work well for this group of people because they have had such a hard time losing weight due to their medical conditions, but these particular injections actually work wonders for them. Well, then there's the side effects. Both semaglutide and tirzepatide can cause gastrointestinal side effects such as nausea, vomiting, or diarrhea, which may affect one's ability to eat and thus impact weight loss. I always say try not to skip meals and to actually eat small, frequent meals if your body will allow it, because when you do skip meals, your metabolism slows down and you are not burning calories like you should. Your body thinks that you are actually starving it, so guess what? When you do actually eat again, your body stores away more than usual, resulting in more fat because your body honestly does not know when you're going to feed it again. Paying attention to people who have a really fast metabolism, also known as what I call tiny or small people. Many of them are constantly eating every 3 to 4 hours. Why? Because they have a high metabolism and their bodies will burn off those calories quickly, knowing they will be fed again soon. I do realize that sometimes you absolutely cannot eat every 3 to 4 hours while taking the shots, and that's okay. But I encourage my patients to do what they can and just try not to go all day without eating. I know some people think that that is super cool to be like, oh, I haven't eaten all day, or I just took a few bites of my food. But I don't want you to overeat and I don't want you to get sick, but I do want you to try to eat when you can. Now, moving on, let's discuss psychological factors. That would be things like stress, depression, or other psychological factors which can influence eating habits and weight. Emotional eating or lack of motivation can slow down progress. So, I know that trying to lose weight or being overweight can be stressful. And I know when you get on the scale, that can be depressing, and just life in general, life happens. And a lot of people do stress eat. That happens to everybody at some point or another. But just try to remember that you are on a journey. Do what you can to eliminate stress as much as possible and really, really focus on your journey. I know it's easier said than done. And then there's water retention. Sometimes the body retains water due to various reasons, including dietary choices, things like sodium or hormonal changes, which can temporarily mask weight loss. For females, this could be cyclic changes, and for men and even some women, it could be due to hormone replacement therapy. And then lastly, there's plateaus. Weight loss is not always linear. Plateaus are common and can be due to the body adjusting to new weight, requiring changes in diet or exercise routines to overcome. Super, super important. I always say if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting the same results. So when you plateau, you may need to change things, add a few things in, change up your routine. Aside from everything I've already mentioned, the effectiveness of the injections can vary from each person, regardless of the factors discussed. However, understanding these factors can help set realistic expectations and encourage a more personalized approach to weight loss with these medications. Now, another real life problem that people experience that will actually make them discontinue taking the medication altogether are some of the side effects. I have mentioned these briefly in some of my past episodes, but I wanted to hit on some of the main ones to help you try to manage those side effects in hopes that you can become successful and overcome the side effects. The first one is constipation. I always stress the importance of eating fiber on a daily basis from day one. It is recommended to gradually increase your fiber intake and drink plenty of water while doing so. This allows the natural bacteria in your digestive system to adjust to the change. Constipation can be an expected side effect, so by the time it occurs, if you have already started taking fiber supplements, by then you will be one step ahead. On the other hand, if you start fiber supplements once constipation sets in, you're setting yourself up to possibly worsen your condition. It is best to gradually increase both your soluble and insoluble fiber, as dramatically increasing your intake in a short period could cause unwanted side effects like abdominal pain, gas, and bloating. That's the last thing you need when you're already constipated. So this is why I recommend increasing your fiber from day one over time. Men should aim for 38 grams of fiber daily, and women should aim for 25 grams of fiber daily. Now, here are foods that are high in insoluble fiber, and they are whole grains, fruits, and vegetables with the skin intact, nuts, and seeds. And then your soluble fiber are things like oats, flax seeds, barley, rye, and beans. My go-to for patients are green leafy vegetables such as broccoli and spinach, and I also advise them to take a daily supplement such as fiber gummies. Now, another real life problem that people experience that might actually make them discontinue taking the medication as far as a side effect is fatigue. My advice is to remain hydrated with water. Staying adequately hydrated is essential as dehydration can exacerbate feelings of tiredness. Eating a well-balanced diet can help combat fatigue as well. Also, it would not hurt to take a daily multivitamin, and adding in some form of B12 supplement is a suggestion. This would need to be discussed with your healthcare provider to see if you would be an appropriate candidate, because not everyone might need extra B12. However, most people will benefit from some form. In my office, I actually provide a shot called Vitachrome or BioBoost. And basically, these are injections that are actually fat burners that have amino acids and some form of B12 in them. My patients do really, really well at combating fatigue, so I rarely have someone that will stop taking the injection because of that. However, if they are not already on the injection, it is something that they will say when they come in the office, they will say, yes, I have had a lot of fatigue this past week. Once they start the additional injection of Vitachrome or BioBoost, then that solves their fatigue problem. So that is something that you should discuss with your healthcare provider. And the final problem is nausea. Sometimes it is what you eat that can trigger nausea while taking the injections. Make sure to eat small meals, avoid fried, greasy, and sugary foods. Also, watch your carbohydrate intake. Pay attention to when the nausea occurs to keep in mind what food or drink potentially triggered it. And of course, try to avoid that food or drink in the future. Also, talk to your healthcare provider and see what options he or she might have to offer it, if it's severe nausea. There definitely may be other reasons that individuals choose to stop taking the medications due to the side effects, but those are the top 3 that I chose to address. Now, let's move on. Lastly, I will discuss various dietary approaches and how they work with GLP-1 medications like semaglutide, Wegovy, or Ozempic, and tirzepatide, Zepbound, or Mounjaro. These diets include the keto diet, paleo diet, Mediterranean diet, intermittent fasting, and high protein diet. I'll discuss how these diets can be beneficial or potentially problematic when combined with GLP-1 medications. So, the first one is the keto diet. Personally, I never promote this one in my clinic, but if a patient comes in and is already on a keto diet, then I will not discourage them or advise them to stop. It is just not something I recommend simply because it can be a diet that is difficult to maintain as far as making it a true lifestyle change. Out of all the diets discussed, this is the one that is more of a quick fix, more of a fad diet, which is why I will discuss it first. So, the overview. The ketogenic diet is high in fats, moderate in proteins, and very low in carbs. Depending on, how low you want to go in carbs, a lot of people will eat 20 grams of carbohydrates a day. Some people will eat a little bit more, some people will eat a little bit less. But the goal is to aim to induce ketosis, where the body burns fat for fuel instead of carbohydrates, which is why your carbohydrates are super low. Now, the pros of the keto diet is that you will have rapid weight loss. This can lead to quick weight loss and improved insulin sensitivity. It can help with appetite control. The high fat intake can enhance satiety, reducing overall calorie intake. Now, the cons. Nutrient deficiencies. Limited food choices can result in deficiencies in fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Of course, I just talked about fiber, so we definitely want fiber. And one of the big things with the GLP-1 is a well-balanced diet. And then with the keto diet, the sustainability. You have the strict carbohydrate restrictions, which can make long-term adherence challenging. But overall, the compatibility with the GLP-1 diet, while initial weight loss might be impressive, the restrictive nature of the diet could lead to compliance issues, and balancing nutrient intake is crucial. Now, let's move on to the paleo diet. The overview. The paleo diet focuses on consuming foods that were presumably available to Paleolithic humans, such as lean meats, fish, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, while avoiding processed foods, grains, legumes, and dairy. The pros. You eat a lot of natural foods. It encourages whole, unprocessed foods, which can improve overall health. It has the fact that the processed food elimination and the reduced sugars may aid in weight loss and improve insulin sensitivity. And then it has the anti-inflammatory process going on with the emphasis on fruits, vegetables, and healthy fats. Now, the cons. It's restrictive, may be difficult to sustain long term due to its restrictive nature. Then you have the nutrient deficiencies. Exclusions of grains and dairy can lead to potential deficiencies in fiber, calcium, and vitamin D. As far as compatibility with GLP-1 medications, high protein and fiber can enhance satiety, complementing the appetite suppressing effects of GLP-1 medications. However, restrictive nature might make adherence challenging. So, there you go. Now, the Mediterranean diet. The overview. The Mediterranean diet is based on traditional eating patterns of countries bordering the Mediterranean Sea, emphasizing fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds, fish, and olive oil with moderate wine consumption. The pros. It's heart healthy, rich in healthy fats such as omega-3s from fish and olive oil. And then the balanced nutrition offers a well-rounded intake of essential nutrients. And then sustainability, generally easier to follow long-term due to its variety and flexibility. So far, out of the three diets I have discussed, the Mediterranean diet seems to be the one that is the easiest to follow long term. So that's an interesting key. Now, the cons. Moderate fat content. While healthy fats are emphasized, they can still be calorie dense, requiring portion control. So the key here is requiring portion control. Now, compatibility with GLP-1. The balanced, nutrient-dense nature of this diet works well with GLP-1 medications, supporting overall health. So that's good to know. Now, intermittent fasting. The overview of intermittent fasting involves cycling between periods of eating and fasting, with common methods including 16/8, which would be 16 hours of fasting 8 hours of eating, or even longer windows of fasting and shorter periods to eat. Just depends on what you choose. The pros: weight loss can promote weight loss and improve metabolic health. Also, improved insulin sensitivity. Fasting periods can enhance insulin sensitivity and reduce inflammation. The cons: hunger and compliance. Fasting can be difficult to maintain, leading to potential non-compliance. Now, the compatibility with GLP-1 medications. Fasting might initially amplify the appetite suppressing effects of GLP-1 medications, but ensuring nutrient intake during eating periods is crucial. Something interesting to remember. Now, I saved my favorite for last. And of course, I am a little bit biased because I am a bodybuilder. So, of course, I would choose the high protein diet. So, the overview of it: a high protein diet emphasizes protein intake from sources like meat, fish, eggs, dairy, legumes, and protein supplements, often reducing carbohydrate and fat intake. Pros: satiety. Protein is highly satisfying, which can aid in weight loss and appetite control. Muscle preservation. Imagine that. Supports muscle mass during weight loss, which is very, very important while you're on these shots. Because in previous episodes, I did talk about loss of muscle mass. And then the cons: kidney health. Excessive protein intake can strain the kidneys, especially in individuals with pre-existing kidney conditions. So definitely not something that someone who has pre-existing kidney conditions to take. But even if you have pre-existing kidney conditions, you probably shouldn't be on a GLP-1 medication anyway. And then balanced nutrition. May lack essential nutrients if not well balanced with other food groups. Now, as far as the compatibility with GLP-1 medications, protein satiety benefits align well with GLP-1 medications, but ensuring a balanced diet is important to avoid nutrient deficiencies. So, when taking GLP-1 medications, the choice of diet should be personalized, taking into account individual health needs, preferences, and sustainability. The choice is ultimately up to you as far as which diet will work best for you while taking one of the GLP-1 medications. However, you should choose the one that you feel you can stick with and truly make a lifestyle change with, because you're the one that will have to do this long term. This is not a diet that you should just be on while taking the medications, but more so a diet that you're going to make a true lifestyle change. Of course, I want you to enjoy your holidays, your vacations. I even want you to have cheat meals here and there. But I also want you to now start incorporating eating healthy, working out, and embracing your new lifestyle change and enjoying the journey. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast, and I hope you have an amazing week this week. Make sure to meal prep, get in some workouts, and I look forward to sharing with you next week. I'm Dr. Andrea Walker, board certified family nurse practitioner. For more health and wellness tips, follow me on social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, at Dr. Andrea's Medical and Weight Loss Clinic or Telehealth DNP. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, take care.